here in Clearwater. When I arrived, met a few people. One of the people that we met was Erika, and Erika and I chatted a little bit about what's been going on lately and what occurred with the arrest. But you've probably all heard of that already. So I'm now heading back to that area, and I'm going to see if we can get a little bit of a lay of the land here. So we're here on Cleveland Street. Right, we see. Sorry. Boy, I don't know why that's so cockeyed. Let's see if I can get that to balance out a little bit better. So here is kind of the touristy area of Cleveland. Got a building looking to be under construction there. Hey, Bridge. Fuzzy, thanks for being there. Dee, great seeing you. Let's see if I can get this to level out a little bit. That's a little bit closer. All right.
All right.
So what is this place?
What is this place? I'll tell you. I'm going to give you the spiel, but
Yeah.
I'll have to do the Cliff Notes because I usually talk for a long time. All right. So we are on. Are you guys going to? I'm going to go buy water.
All right.
Okay. All right. So this is Cleveland Street and Fort Harrison. From where we're standing right now, everything you see here. Actually, if you want to come out a little bit.
Yep.
Everything you see in this direction, and in this direction, and this direction, except for a few buildings, is owned by Scientology, the church, or Scientologists. I can make them more complicated sense so that they don't honk so much because they can't read it. All right, so all owned by Scientology. The only thing that isn't is this one little white building. The lady that owns that probably has been offered 3, 4, 5 times the value and refuses to sell. She's just a good person.
Good for her.
The business owners there also are putting a lot of their own money into it just to keep it going. Really important. It's very important to me. These businesses right here, they do pay rent to Scientology, but none of the business owners are Scientologists. So these restaurants that we have here.
Now, they won't talk disparately of them, but
Correct.
okay, at least not publicly.
Right, but they are part of the Downtown Clearwater Merchants Association, and so they're working really hard, not against Scientology, but just trying to get things happening here. So Scientology buys these old buildings, as you know. That red brick building is the old telephone building. We can walk down there later and you can see that too. But they're always renovating. There's some stuff they're renovating down here as well. Phil Jones, you know,
Yep.
he worked on when they were renovating this bank building. I believe. I hope I'm not making that up.
Phil's a good guy.
Yeah, but I believe he laid the marble
Okay.
in here
Wow.
or something. So we'll take a peek over there if the doors are still open when we get there. Usually Gimbal closes the doors, but as you know. So a few months ago they started renovating this, but it's not really renovating. It's obviously no longer a historical building given how much they've torn out of it.
Right.
But it was a bank building, and there's a historical clock that I presume they're going to fix and put back up, but they're ruining it. But they'll make it look like the North Korea that we'll see while we walk up this way too.
So do you think that'll be all glass front, or these have all been windows with large
I think it's
glasses?
Going to be similar to that. They're going to probably stay in the same architecture. I can't guarantee it, but
Yep.
it'll probably be more the same architectural style. It's actually on the website, but I haven't looked on their website in a while. So everything else, that building right there.
The tall residential.
Yeah, it's whatever, 8, 9 stories. It's a condo complex. All of them are Scientologists. So the top 2 floors are Tom Cruise.
Okay.
And the 3rd floor is the sister, but all the other ones are Scientologists as well. And then there's another. I'm not allowed to stand here because it's arrested, but this tall condo right here.
Yep.
That's the base of it is owned by the developer, the Scientologist that owns a lot of this stuff. But 70% of the units are owned by Scientologists, 30% are not. A lot of people buy them from up north, sight unseen on Zillow.
Right.
And they get here and they're like, oh great, I can't make any friends with my neighbors. They love the condo, everything about it, but it's disappointing because they didn't realize what they were buying.
Right.
So let's head this way.
Excellent. We're getting a tour by Erika. Thank you, Eric.
I'm definite trouble source in the chat.
Definite trouble source. You don't channel, right? There's no channel. It's just that
I have
you.
one, but
right.
I'm not trying to grow it. Actually, I need 5 more subs. In order, because I think if you have 50, then you can do live
Yes.
stuff or whatever.
Actually, you only need 1, but yes, 50 lets you do live.
You
only need 1 for a long period of. If you go ahead right now,
Yeah.
go ahead and say I want to do live. You'll have to wait 24 hours, but you don't need 50 to start. Oh, you know what? I lied about that. If you use any of those free softwares, like if you use StreamYard, you can do it after 1 sub and 24 hours.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. All right. So this is the. I should have pointed out earlier. This building right here is the old Clearwater Bank building that they renovated originally and a long time ago. And this is kind of where OSA does its business.
Okay.
Sometimes there are snipery kind of security guards up there, very armed.
Actually, weapons or
Yeah.
camera? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll say, so she's taking me down a street that I walked down and I saw all of the Way to Happiness, CCHR, Human Rights Organization, just all the plethora of the front groups that we're about to see.
So we're going to walk on this side so you get a broader shot, and then we can walk down so you can get it right up to the windows.
Hey, you have 50 subs now.
Oh, I do? Oh, thank you. Okay,
J-Bat says hello. Fuzzy says hello.
Oh,
I'm sure that everybody in the chat's saying hello.
Oh.
By the way, when I say
Hi,
everybody,
everybody.
all 12 of us.
Yeah, so they're trying to clean these up a little bit. Like they've taken, now I can see in here. Before there was paper over the window, like horrible paper. They do own most of these. I think there's 1 unit in here that they don't own for some reason. So yeah, United for Human Rights.
I'll give you just a little bit more zoom there, right? So this is the one, we've seen this one, and what you'll see here is this is the one that's beige and it has Gandhi on the cover, other world leaders, other people who actually are pacifists and peaceful members, Buddha types of things. And you'll never, if you scour that pamphlet, you will never be able to tell that it's Scientology until you look up where it's from, and then it'll be a post office box in California. And then if you look at the legal disclaimers on that website, then you'll find out that the legal disclaimers all come from the L. Ron Hubbard building out in on 1920 Hillcrest out in LA.
Yeah. So, we'll
okay.
keep going that way.
Sorry, I gave him the come ahead.
That's good.
I'm usually very passive there. I never trust cars.
Probably should do. All right, and then we got the Way to Happiness.
What I love is I never really know. I know they always said Common Sense Guide, but I've never seen that logo on their shirts. So I've seen the art logo on their shirts. I haven't seen the lettering on their shirts.
Okay. That logo is kind of similar to the new Clearwater logo, and people point that out. And it's kind of a standard issue sort of thing. And the Clearwater one is all straight lines, much more graphic. But it's the same kind of coloring, and it's a circle with a sunset. I think a lot of towns in Florida would have something
Yes.
like that. So I don't know if there was anything underlying in its purpose or not, but people are pointing that out. I don't think so, but I understand why people would think that.
It definitely looked like scouting,
Yeah.
nature,
Right.
We're salt of the earth.
Yeah. On Way to Happiness, they tell you to make your bed and stuff.
Yes.
And whatever.
Yeah, if you look at all of the documentation in that book, it's been usurped from any other philosopher or religion in that regard. And it's like,
Absolutely.
obey your parents, make your bed.
Yeah. Which is not one of the 10 Commandments, but you can
That's-
extrapolate from the 10 Commandments to make it work. And then you've got Foundation for a Drug-Free World. You can see the window in here. It's just perfectly staged. All of the desks, like in all of these, have like a stapler and a notepad like everything is exactly where it should be all the time because they don't get used.
There's
These
nobody
are
in there, right.
clearly fronts. And when you really look in there and you look behind, it's just like ordinary stuff. It's not decorated, it's not painted, nothing. We might be able to peek into some of these.
So when I was coming down, there was a young lady at this one, and at the one next to the park, the city community or something like that.
Volunteer, the community volunteers, Right. So in the back there is storage. So I think they use the backs of these for universal stuff that they do, filing boxes and stuff. I don't know what the Scientologists could tell you what this is, in terms of what would go on here in a 40-hour work week that is related.
Do you see? Do they come down the sidewalk to solve this problem, or do they use the alleys and everything? Do you know if they
use the front doors?
Yeah.
Or they do, and sometimes when they've seen me down there, they've been given instructions not to walk past me, so they'll do the pivot, they'll come in, and they'll go through any one of these doors to go through the back door and the back street behind it. So they're all open to them. There's usually one person in each of them. I think I would imagine if you're in big trouble, it's the most boring job.
It's detention.
Yeah.
Right?
I know if you get in trouble, you drive a bus, but I'm like, I would get in trouble to drive the bus,
Yes.
so I don't know how their logic works. And then we've got Crimenon.
Nice.
Yeah. And then further down.
I took photos of all these folks on the way here. And by the way, I'm sorry I'm not paying attention to chat. I want to kind of give Erika, I'm paying attention to her, so I'll get to your chat later on.
Sorry, I'm ruining the chat.
Erika ruins nothing.
I'm monopolizing the chat.
She is a definite trouble source, and if you don't believe me, I can give you the police record now.
Yeah, I'm the only one that can claim the arrest. So volunteer ministers, that's our yellow shirts that put up the downtown on Cleveland Street. They always have a photographer with them. They're always wearing their yellow shirts, they're volunteer ministers, and they will plywood up all the windows for a hurricane of the Scientology-owned buildings.
Nice.
But acting like they're doing this community service and doing this community work for the, And then you've got, and I'll show you the.
What she just described, right? The idea that they kind of usurp or they falsify that idea that they're helping the community. And we saw it in full display with the fires, right, in California.
Oh, perfect, yeah.
And this is not, so I've heard that anytime there's a natural disaster, they're out there. Now, it's amazing how much effort they put into something and actually do no help.
Right.
Like the idea that you put that much effort forward and yet helped
Just
no
for show.
person.
Yeah. We have a Market Marie here, which is a franchise weekend market. And right after Hurricane Milton, they had a yellow tent set up. They're not usually down there. Also, Citizens Commission on Human Rights.
Right. So the Death Museum.
Good fight against psychiatry, which is apparently horribly ineffective. But you see how busy they are, and they're working toward that. So,
right. And this one I didn't see anybody in here. Now I did see somebody come out of our next building.
Okay.
When we came here.
So WISE is I don't know if they have a WISE in LA, but WISE is the business course offering that they do. They target I don't know if you know this already.
Chiropractors, dentists,
highly
highly skilled people that don't have they learned a skill but not business when they went to school.
And if they want to hang a shingle, they try and they're pretty effective at it, but they don't know how to double bill for insurance in a way that they're going to make a ton of money. And this is where they learn it. Now they don't know when they market to them. There's no evidence, but I've talked to them down at my corner, and they go, I heard this is Scientology. My boyfriend's telling me that he's been looking this up. And it's Scientology. It's Scientology. I'm like, it's totally Scientology. And they're like, how would I know? And I open up their book to the copyright page, and I go, L. Ron Hubbard.
Yeah.
That's that. Oh my God. Listen, you're okay. You're okay. You're gonna learn some things. It's not a bad course. But I do have to tell them, be careful, because if you do these practices and you start making money, and you know everybody else is doing it too, and you start making money, you're not going to be able to not make the money anymore. You should be able to buy better equipment for your business. You know, add a garage onto the back of your house. You're gonna get used to the money, and you're gonna keep doing this and finding these. So just be careful before you sell your soul to the devil. You know. So I do advise them on that, because there was a lot of, I think, poor business practice that you would not learn in a business course at an accredited university. Again, no community, no volunteers.
And you'll see, right, this logo is different than we saw at the Way to Happiness, but let's say that it's in the same color scheme, it's got the same look and feel about it.
Well, these are all different ways that we compound our evidence that we are we should be tax exempt, and that we are a charitable group, and we do all this charitable stuff. So, so we have to do different colors to show all the different.
Right.
You know, we have to make it pretty, but conveniently, they're all just nothing, big nothing burger. So this park right here is where, in the Leah Remini, the aftermath showed, she and Mike Rinder were filmed in this park, so it's kind of famous for that. Right. Mark Bunker has had his issues here as well. He's going to be here tonight.
There is a sign that, there's plenty of signs there, but the sign that I first noticed there, and I didn't realize what it was. I walked up to it, I read the sign and said, oh, this is that special park. Mm-hmm. It says, all police are authorized to tell you to get off this property.
Right.
And
even
then there's
though it's
other
a
signs.
Public
yes.
park.
Yeah.
But we want to be sure that you know. And if you want to set foot on it, we can do that if you'd like. Just to see what happens. The trap doors open, you know. I'll show you just from the corner here, additional property. The property stops here. There are probably a few peppered around down there, but they're insignificant.
Yeah, we're going to get to then Islam or Muslim. I'm not positive which of the two is the next building.
Yeah, and then some other vacant stores. Nobody's really going to do business down here very well, because you can't put a dry cleaner here because it's inconvenient. Why would you bring your dry cleaning here? There's no other infrastructure to support any other businesses. So this area here is the Osceola. This is a Scientology bus.
Sandcastle.
Yep. Transporting people from the Sandcastle probably to Fort Harrison or Flag. I love it that I'm feeling like a tourism person, pro-Scientology. They just got a fleet of a bunch of these buses that are eco, although this is an older one, eco-friendly, I think either hybrid or fully electric, and they've spent like $15 million or something on them. So it's nice that Alice Way. So the Sandcastle is that corner right there. If you feel like walking, we can walk. It's a beautiful site down there.
So one thing you don't know about me is that I put miles on.
Okay.
I can walk as far as anybody.
Yeah,
I love it.
I do too. We'll be in the sun.
So it looks like there's a stadium here. So I will say this. On the way in, I came from Ybor City. I stopped there for a little bit today. And the very first sign I saw when I came across the street was a sign that says to Ruth Eckerd Hall, which I always hear about that when I'm here. And then this, when I saw this, it's like, oh, this feels like an auditorium or a stadium or something.
Yeah, it is an amphitheater here. We're talking about the same thing. Ruth Eckerd Hall is a very large, it's where Hamilton or any other plays and stuff would be. Any of our major shows, concerts, indoor classic concerts would be there. We've had Willie Nelson, Foreigner was just here, amazing concert. Diana Ross, like really big names we do here, and it's amazing because if you're streaming, you get a free concert.
Nice.
Because it's the acoustics out here are amazing. You don't necessarily see them, that's all blocked off, but you hear it. And that is why the Sandcastle, why Scientology did not want this here. You can see the top of it. The Sandcastle is right here. Now, we have concerts every other weekend, 4 hours. It doesn't kill anything for them to do auditing. We're going to skip auditing for 4 hours, you know. I mean, it's just not that big of a deal.
Now, that's a uniform. I assume that's a Scientologist there in the pantsuit. The beige.
Yes.
Okay.
Sandcastle is all tan.
Okay.
It's all happy tan. And that's
You can
her
see that
wife.
she's hustling away. So she saw me with the camera, and well, actually, she probably saw the trouble source here. And you saw that she vacated that. So it looked like she was out there trying to guide people in.
Okay.
And now she's vacated the area and walked towards the entrance.
That's fine. So Osceola is a religious retreat.
Absolutely.
That's this. And then the Sandcastle is that very old-fashioned hotel. We can keep walking down here. You can see the beauty of it. This right here is the pyramid logo. Let's go.
Oh, Hubbard Communications.
Yeah.
By the way, I feel good when I can answer questions.
And the long strip of buildings behind it, I forgot to tell you, is one of, right here you can see like this yellowish building.
Yep.
One of David Miscavige's offices. Here.
Okay. So the green, like the green Spanish tile roof entrance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, we got one coming.
You got in trouble yesterday, huh?
I was not.
Oh, they didn't?
I was booked. I was in the orange squad. Yeah.
So I'm just getting the back of your shirt.
They arrested you and everything? So you had to postpone and all?
No, she let me off on my own time.
Oh, okay, good.
It was probably the best.
Yeah, they're freaking evil. This Scientology.
100%.
police and
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
They're evil. I'm sorry to hear that.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll
I'm
say
good.
some at the city council meeting.
Oh, I appreciate it. I don't know.
That's
if I
awesome.
have an option to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. So they had a logo. Maybe it's behind one of the tiers.
Oh, I see it. I can see the top of the circle on the very top of the building up there. By the way, look at the camera. We'll see it in just a second. Oh, you can't see it yet because I'm further to the side. Sorry. Look at the massive cameras, right? So, but you've got the mountain over here, which this doesn't look quite like communications, but it's
They repainted.
okay.
It's more of a uniform. It may not be communications. And look how everything is.
Yeah, the beige. It's like
Yeah. It's not labeled for a reason. I'm sure they want to keep it
Right.
unlabeled.
You've got the massive camera up there with the 360 pivot. There's another one that's physically mounted just behind it.
I love your sign.
Thank you.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. I will.
Another large camera right mounted on the just above the windows there, halfway down the building.
Where we were standing before, there's about a dozen. When they started renovating that one building, they took 3 of them down. So there's probably about 9 from where we were standing.
Okay.
I don't know about audio, but in that intersection, at least 9.
So we're not telling everybody our phone numbers out loud and all that.
Yeah, it's funny when Mark Bunker was out here. He's a man with maybe some visual issues, So he's trying to put my phone number in, and he's doing this. And I'm just thinking, you just go for it, Mark. I'm sure they've got it already anyway, So this is the Sandcastle religious retreat. But it does say Church of Scientology, painted over in white.
So is this auditing and public's taking course?
This is high level. Aaron would be able to say more specifically, but I'm going to say like 6.
Okay.
5, 6, 7 and 8 are. Well, no, I'm sorry. One of them's on the boat. Is it 7, 6 or 7 that can only be done on the boat? And I used to know this.
8 is only the boat. 7 is the prepping for 8.
Okay, so 8 is only on the boat except when the boat's not available, and then 8 can be done here. But I think part of it's done at Sandcastle as well.
Gotcha.
But this is not for the rookies right here. This is more for the higher level stuff.
Right.
So there's not going to be a lot of basic auditing or anything like that going on here. But we'll see. This is the reason why Scientology has
Yes.
such a problem with this.
So here you can see the auditorium or the amphitheater. And is the stage oriented to the far side, so the music comes this direction?
The music goes in every direction.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just awesome. And this is our beautiful library, which does not bother them, but it's also not their property, so that bothers
Yes.
them. But if you want at some point during your stay, you can go all the way up to the top and get some really great views.
Very nice.
The stairs on this side right here.
So one thing that Erika is alluding to here, right, is that where I was at in Chicago and the two orgs that we stopped at today, there you're going to see pre-clear type courses, and you'll see publics or novitiates, right, that are being brought into Scientology. To the best of my knowledge, people do not find Scientology here, right? That,
Correct. They're not recruited here.
Yeah, that you're being recruited either at a mission or one of the other ideal orgs, and as you move up the bridge and get to the point of being potentially clear, then you're going to come down here. So they don't have the body route. Like, right, I would starve down here because I can't follow body routers.
Right, right. They do have a lot of Purif and rundown programs. So even people who are not Scientologists, who work for Scientologists and Scientologists, just trying to take this course kind of thing. And other, like the people that are doing the WISE courses, not really in Scientology as far as they know, are offered to pay $2,500, for example, for the Cause Resurgence rundown, which is on the top, the 6th floor of the flag building. There's a rotunda in there. Are you familiar with that rundown?
Yes.
Okay, so that's, and the other stuff, the gyroscope or whatever, the anti-gravity equipment, everything are on that 6th floor up there.
Okay. Now that I wasn't aware, the anti-gravity element. So Purif one, and then the one that I've come across. Here's some people going to slide back in. Right. Sorry, I didn't have you zoomed out, but
Hurry, quick,
right.
faster.
So don't get caught on film. And by the way, these people would get in trouble is probably the wrong term, but you're absolutely guided not to be found on film, right? They don't want friends and family to know where you're at. They don't want many of these staff members, right? Maybe they're not here because they want to be here. It's because Scientology told them to be here. It's affluence, right? So most public Scientologists, very affluent, and with good cause, right? That they have to pay for this stuff, right? And that's why we're seeing the G-Wagon come by, right? You're not seeing a lot of Honda Civic. That was interesting. She had a dress hanging on the passenger side.
Okay.
So, no idea what that's for.
They do treat this like a retreat, but I don't think it's especially fancy dining or anything. They will either take cars, buses, or walk quite a bit. Very often will walk to flag for some of the stuff that they're doing, and the Fort Harrison for events and stuff. So there may be, she may just have stuff. Yeah. Hurry, get that box in here. What is that?
It's a large box.
Yeah. That's not the service entrance, so why are you using that to bring that stuff in?
So is this almost dining hall-ish then? It's a beautiful, it looks like there's a lake beyond, well, a lake, a bay, a water element.
Yeah.
So it's got to be a beautiful view.
Yeah, we'll walk down there.
Okay.
You can see what they see.
Hey, Rachel.
But this is the original. I can't tell you when it was built. It looks like late 60s architecture. I'm not good with that. But with Hurricane Milton, they were like really, they were like an inch away from having to redo all the floors in there because the water was coming
Rose
up really
that
high.
high.
Yeah. But here's the amphitheater if you just want to see. It's not Scientology amphitheater, but it's
See the massive catwalk up there.
And you can bring chairs and blankets and stuff for the grassy areas in the back. The tickets are cheaper, of course.
Yeah. And then
But it's actually kind of fun to have the blanket stuff. So
yeah, there's several in Chicago. There are several outdoor areas, and you're right. You just go to the park.
yeah, just hang out. Bring your own snacks.
Here's a pro tip I'll give you all. If you ever visit Chicago, the symphony usually plays in the summer on Saturday nights, but on Thursday nights they practice in the park, and you can get there no problem. So it's bring your crackers, cheese, wine, and just go sit in the park on a Thursday night when they're practicing. You're getting the same experience minus the crowd.
So Clearwater is super beautiful. There's a joke about it being, we call it cult water. I get it, but I don't call it cult water because I really need people to come here and visit and experience what all the other remaining, there's only about 2,000 Scientologists in this spiritual headquarters of Scientology here in Clearwater. The other 116,000 people that live here, residents, are not Scientologists, and we love it here. It's just spectacular. It's just amazing.
What's so strange is that I get the impression that it sprawls. If you look at the shape of Clearwater on a map, it is not a rectangle. It's not a square.
Right, and also what we're talking about with Scientology owning is very dense and tight. Now they do own a peppering of other things, but the stuff we're talking about, the nuisance, we can maybe head down there. The nuisance of them is the lack of economy in downtown Clearwater.
Right.
And the way they're shutting it down to make it their own private compound. You notice there was no barbed wire or electrical wire, and Scientologists are walking free among the public, and nobody's blowing. That's what they want. They want it to be hard to leave here because there's cameras everywhere. Where are you going to go in your outfit, in your vest? They do have shrubbery all the way to the end, so it's hard to get a visual. But
Yeah, I can see the fence.
Yeah. But they're right up to the water here. So the water was pretty high at the hurricane.
Oh, okay, so I got you.
Yeah. And they're like right on the edge of it.
Nice. So if you're just joining us, we're chatting with Erika, definite trouble source. She had a fun little episode this week. And I don't mean to make light of this. I don't like to allow Scientology to have that heavy wield of...
It wasn't a win for them because my experience with it immediately, I can handle a lot, and I'm kind of a sociologist in that regard, where I can go and go, okay, what's going to happen next? All right, just do it, just experience it,
Yep.
If it wasn't 30 degrees in the whole jail, it would have been much better, but okay.
Did you have food or anything, or?
They call it food, yeah. It was hard to...
The typical bologna sandwich that you would never buy out of the...
There were several bologna sandwiches. Once I got in the actual cell, it was, I think what people would say is...
Howdy.
Is hamburger helper adjacent, and some sort of vegetable blend in water. It was exactly what you would think. It was really bad.